Good evening and welcome to the post-match press conference for the match day 32 game between Great Olympics and champions Kumasi Asante Kotoko. From Kotoko we have coach Prosper Ogum and then Mfegue to speak to us. We take their initial comments and then your questions can follow. Coach, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell us your views on today's game.
Very interesting game. I think Olympics saw a lot of the ball, a lot of pressure on us, especially in the first half. They utilized the wide spaces that we created, especially in the middle of the park. I think second half we did a substitution and we were able to close out those gaps there. And then one of the best chances we had through the combination play, Mbella was able to connect. And once he was able to do that, I think we were able to settle very well into the game. And we also started celebrating them. So on the whole, I think both teams came for, especially if you look at the fact that we needed the points and the Olympics also needed the points very well. So it was a close game, but then at the end of the day, I think football has won because both teams.
Your take on today's game?
Yes. I think the first half we didn't play very well, but we be consistent in the game. That's important. The second half we came another thinking and we tried to equalize how the coach said. And the second half we did better and we got the goal. I think we did what we need to win the game.
Coach, the fans said in the 68 minutes a magic happened on the field of play. Can you walk us through that magic?
It was a fantastic goal. I think we got the ball from the middle of the park. We were able to, the players were able to link up with each other, especially Moro. Moro traveled with the ball, saw Mbella, passed the ball to him. Mbella passed the ball back to Imoro. Imoro saw the space that had been created, and then he passed the ball to Mbella. Mbella turned with the outside of his foot, created the space for himself. Look at the goalkeeper, pick his spot, and use the right technique. And I think he scored several amazing goals this season. Look at the goal he scored against Diana, Wafa, Mediema. These are all wonderful goals. But I think this one, he created a space for himself and he went for it. It's a super goal. It's a world class goal.
Will you pick this as your bet in Mbella goal?
I can't pick because he scored a lot, so I don't want to go there. He scored a lot, so I don't want to go there. He scored a lot.
The player in Mbella, how do you describe him in the season?
He's a complete player. A complete player in the sense that physically he's there, technically he's a good player, tactically too, and psychologically he has that confidence and self-belief that he's capable of doing it. And I like his work ethic. He's very humble, very respectful, always ready to listen and work. And I'll keep saying this. He has that mentality that he has traveled all the way here to play football. So his focus is always on how we can train well and how we can deliver in a game. So if we play a game and he doesn't play well, he's so worried. I need to talk to him and try to calm him down, especially comparing, letting him know that world-class players like Benzema, Messi, Ronaldo, and sometimes they also experience bad days. So on the whole, I think he's a complete player. He's always focused, he's ready to work, and technically, I think he's one of the best players in the league.
Coach, we have a league that standout players leave after they have performed. Do you see Mbella stay after this season?
I think he's still our player, so I don't want to comment so much on it. So let's leave it as it is.
Hi, congratulations, Coach.
Thank you, Nana.
How big an achievement is this for you as a coach? Your first big title. Last season, you masterminded Kotoko to their best ever finish, and you were a league champion. How do you feel? And second, how impactful do you think your systems and your philosophy has been on this Asante Kotoko team, and whether these guys have responded to it to your expectations?
Yeah, the first one, I think Kotoko is one of the best clubs and the most successful club with respect to our league in the country. So as a coach, as a young upcoming coach, I think I'm happy that I'm part of this historic moment. It's not easy to lead a club like Kotoko with about 10 million followers, where everybody have their view on whether you play well or you don't play well. So to me, it's a great achievement for myself, the players. I just even told them that we've made it not with, we've made it with one of the best clubs in the country and the most successful club in the country, and we have to be proud of that. So as a coach, I think I'm happy for this. If you look at what happened at Wafa last season, we were so close, we were in contention to win the league, but then inexperience caused us somewhere along the line. But the following season, here I am, I've won it, I've been compensated, so I'm happy. With respect to philosophy, when we talk of philosophy of play, there are two components in it. It's about the way you think football should be played, and the way you believe football should be played. That's what we call philosophy of the game. So every coach has his philosophy. And the way I think football should be played and the way I feel football should be played, fortunately, they've been able to get into that way of thinking and believing. We are not there yet. I think this is just the beginning. This is the first season, especially looking at the fact that most of these players came from Division 2 and Division 1. They are not that experienced, they've not tasted premiership. But then my idea is that always let's keep the ball. I believe that when you keep the ball and create the spaces, you get the opponent tired. And once you get the opponent tired, one error, you can beat the ball, you can score. Again, I believe that if the ball is kept on the turf and players are conscious of their movement, it makes the game very attractive. You know, football is a science and an art. The art is the beauty of it that we see. The science is the decisions that the players take on the football play. So these are the things I'm trying to imbibe into the players. And for me, as a first season, as a coach with such inexperienced players and looking at the way they are playing now, I'm happy, and I'm happy for them. And I think that if we are given the opportunity to keep working, we can do better than we have done this season.
Is it fair to say this is your biggest achievement as a coach?
Yes, of course. Of course. Last season we were 10th. I think I've coached Dwarfs before. I think we were 10th. Yeah, we were 10th. This is my third premiership side I'm coaching. I coached Ebusuan Dwarfs 2016 after saving them from relegation. 4, okay, I think 4. Karela, I was with Karela too, but that was a brief thing. Thank you, Kobe, and for the correction. So, if you look at what happened at Wafa, Karela was just 3 months. Ebusuan Dwarfs, and they were relegation threatened. I was asked to step in. I did that. After that, nobody sacked me, but I said, I have to go back to the classroom and go and teach. So
are you the best coach in Ghana?
You can tell. I cannot tell.
Sure.
Placing third in the last season Wafa, and now winning the league. Will you say that you've achieved what you planned out? And if not, what are the negative and the positive that you had in Asante?
Yeah, I think if you coach Kotoko and you coach us, our brothers, the expectation is only one. There's nothing like second and you have done so well. No, these two teams, you can't coach these two teams and aim at second. But if you coach Wafa, you are second. I'm sure all of you will give praises on the coach. That's why last season you all praised me for my performance. If it were to be Kotoko or us, we wouldn't have said I did well. So, I mean, it's an achievement, as I've said. As for the positives and the negatives, there are many. If I look at the clubs I've coached, and looking at Kotoko at the moment, the experiences, my brother, they are so much. So huge. And I'm happy I am learning. And I'm still ready to learn more. And I think I'll be better as the years go by. But I can't outline the negatives and the positives one by one. But what I want to tell you is that they are positive. The positive is that the team is playing an attractive sort of football. I stand to be corrected. Your opinion may be different. But the positive is that there's a game model before the start of the season, which I said that I'm going to implement a particular game model where they have to keep the ball, try to use the spaces and all that. I think throughout the 32 matches that we have played, you've seen that even where we lost or where we drew, you saw those traces. And it's all about repetition. For the negatives, there are so many. And I think that the negatives rather strengthen me. I'm such a person that I like constructive criticisms. Because if somebody heaps so much praises on you, by the time you see it, probably your weaknesses are overwhelming and you're done. But once always you are being told these are your weaknesses and these are your errors, I think it helps you as a person to become better. So the negatives are many and the positives.
Coach, for the last part of the season, it looks like Kotoko is much more comfortable in place, very good football outside Kumasi than in Kumasi. The question is, have you noticed this, and what are you doing about it, especially when the team will be going to Africa where we will be hoping to make maximum use of its home games in order to qualify. And then secondly, if you watch these guys play in training and you watch them in game situations, who's your most improved player from the beginning of the season up until now? Congratulations.
Right. The first one was?
Kumasi. Difficult to
yeah, I think it depends on how you look at it. I think we've been playing very well in Kumasi. It's the result. If you look at the game itself, where we have lost, where we have even drawn in Kumasi, we have played very well. But the results have not been that good at home. And it's all about what we call audience effect. The audience expectation at Baba Yara is so much that sometimes it makes these players a little bit nervous. And once you are nervous, it affects your skill performance. So that is why. And I remember meeting Kwesi Appiah and Kwesi Appiah told me that even in his 12th year with Kumasi Asante Kotoko, anytime he came out of the dressing room and he was going to step on the field, he still felt that nervousness in him. So playing in Baba Yara is not an easy thing. He told me this and I've seen it. But on the road, I think we have also played well, but then the results have been better. Now, if you look at the points we have accumulated on the road, if we were to have the same points at home, this league would have been over a long time ago. So I think they look more relaxed on the road because, as I said in the start time interview, when opponents come into our yard, they double their effort to players to get the results. So when we also go into their yard, we know that with respect to threats and intimidation, it will be there. So what we have to do is also double our effort. So I think doubling our effort on the road has made us to be able to do very well on the road. That's
most
what I think Moro Ibrahim is a fantastic player. His understanding of the game amazes me. I look at him at training and sometimes I tell myself, this guy has a brighter future.
One final question.